The brand new T-Series Titleist iron images are starting to be revealed on tour, which means one thing, I might be putting a new set of irons in the bag this year. If you want a great condition set for £100, then by all means go and play with them. So the cycle is over. The new T-Series irons will potentially be available to the public later on this year, more than likely October. And there's a few good looking changes from the Titleist lineup. But if you've been watching the channel for a while, that's not all we're going to be talking about. And I remember it like it was yesterday, reviewing the brand new T-Series lineup back in the day, slightly younger looking Simon, back when I actually reviewed brand new equipment and a small glimpse of what was to come. I'm pretty sure I said along the lines of, they look better than the 718s, but they're virtually the same thing. Because there's going to be a lot of you guys watching this with quite old Titleist irons. I mean, Titleist has been around forever. Arguably #1 ball in golf. And when it comes to irons and woods, they have one of the most consistent setups. I do feel most brands from year to year have a great year and then don't necessarily have a great year with the woods. Or have a great year with the irons, don't have a great year with the irons. Whereas Titleist, you kind of know what you're getting year from year. However, because they were so consistent, they kind of stayed a bit stagnant with the looks. And to be honest, the 712, the 714, the 716, the 718, let's be honest, they all looked exactly the same. And I feel like the market was getting bored of it. They all performed exactly the same as well. You had TaylorMade bring out the P790 in 2016 that dominated. You had Callaway revamping their Apex. You had Mizuno making their JPX lineup look out of this world. So Titleist definitely had to do something to tart up their clubs, which is why potentially this could be the last lineup we see of the T-Series, and they have made these things look good. From the T100 to T150, probably replacing the T100S, these look new, these look revamped. Do I think they're going to be any better than the older models, considering you get the right shaft and head type? No. The only downside as well of these brand new irons, it's going to cost you just under £1,000 to get them in the bag, unlike my new irons, that is. Boys and girls, I give you the original Titleist T100 irons, and I'll show you the prices that you should get these for, what would be too expensive, what would be the right amount. But just look at these things. One thing about Titleist irons, and Ping for that matter, is that the condition of them stays so good over the years. Okay, you're going to get some marks on the face, you're going to get the odd scratches, but there's not a lot of plastic that can chip off. Dirt can get under, massive cavity back they're having to clean after every single round. These things look almost like they've just come out the wrapper. Not to mention, because of their simplistic look, they're quite timeless. And it's been a while since I've reviewed Titleist irons, normally because they hold their price so well, and that's a good thing. Buy these for the price that I'll tell you, and they're gonna hold their value, just like the AP2 718s have and the 716s have. But every time a new release of club comes out, just like the Titleist 2021 irons did, these dropped a bit more in price. Not much, but now the newer version have come out. These are now 4 years old. I think we've hit the sweet spot. Now these are priced very similar to the Srixon ZX7s that I reviewed last week, that Brooks Koepka has in the bag. And to be perfectly honest, those ZX7s, oh, that's a rubbish chip. You can tell I didn't want to make a divot. As I was saying, those ZX7s were only 2 years old. The Mark IIs have come out, and Srixon doesn't do as well in the market, especially over here. Maybe not in Asia, very popular, massive company, Srixon, in terms of globally. But you could get a 2021 set of irons for the same price of these. So they're still a bit of money. We're talking £60 a stick, if they're in good condition. But for £400, £450, as I'll show you some prices here, to have a very good looking, very good performing Titleist iron, whether you want something a bit more forgiving, if you want to go T200 or even up to the T300. And the fact it's going to hold its money incredibly well, and you've got one of the strongest iron brand names in your bag, I can't really see how you could go wrong. But if you had to push me between the two, what I would have in the bag, it all comes down to what I find them for. If I find a set of these or the Srixons on Facebook, massively undervalued, £250, £300 for the set, you can guarantee that is the brand, that is the club I am going to be choosing. Why? Because they both look good. Why? Because they both do exactly the same thing. And last why, I also like to be a bit different. Do not fret though, because some of you are going, Simon, £400, £450, too expensive. I want cheaper. Well, good, keep listening. Well, these have got cheaper, guess what? So have the 718s, so have the 716s. If you want a set of Titleist irons that perform as well as this, go to the 718. I think if you go back to the 712s, there's definitely a level of forgiveness, waiting, bit of technology. I mean, we're talking near on 10 years now. And to be honest, I'm not one to be talking much about tech and how much better irons and clubs are. If anything, going forward, clubs sound like they're going to be harder for us to use. But when you start going that old, like the 712s, 710s, if you want a great condition set for £100, then by all means, go and play with them. They're going to be good, especially if you're wanting to look for that forged head. But the older you go, you do run a risk of them breaking. Shaft snapping, pitting, grips very much being worn, you name it. Therefore, my kind of bottom point, entry point would be the 716s at around £250. Great looking irons, looked exactly the same as 718s, and I'd put them in the same bracket. If you find either set on Facebook for £200, buy it. Great club, great price, great brand. Guys, if you like this video and you want to see those Swickson irons to compare to these for a similar price, only 2 years old, click this video up here on the right hand side. Catch you guys later.